Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to go over the Premier League team of the weekend. A weekend that ran all the way from Friday through till Monday. 10 games were played by all 20 English Premier League clubs. And yep, I've managed to narrow it down to a team of the weekend, my best 11 from the weekend just gone. Some good performances, obviously some players were feeling their way back into competitive football. We haven't had any competitive football for just over 3 months, so understandably some players are rusty, and some players in this list are ones you might not have expected to see at the start of the weekend. But yeah, we'll crack straight on with it. In goal, Hugo Lloris. I think Hugo Lloris put in a pretty good performance. He didn't keep a clean sheet, but he only conceded a penalty. But I go back to a couple of really important saves in the Tottenham-Manchester United game from Hugo Lloris. The first one off Marcus Rashford in the first half at 0-0. If that goes in, I believe Man United could go on and it could be a different game. And the second big save was as one off Anthony Martial in the second half, which was a fantastic save, and that was at 1-0 as well. So again, obviously Man United did equalise in the end, but it could have been. From this they would have had enough time to maybe go on and win. I think Lloris put in a really good performance in goal overall, though, and I can't think of any goalkeeper performances better at the weekend. The only one that I'd say kind of comes close was Matt Ryan's against Arsenal, but overall I'd go Hugo Lloris in goal. Right back, Seamus Coleman. Yeah, Seamus Coleman was excellent in the Merseyside derby. For me, the best player on the pitch. Really dealt with the threat of Sadio Mane really well. We all know Seamus Coleman's Everton through and through. Been there so many years now, so grinding out a draw in the derby. I mean, to say grinding out, Everton could have won the game in the last minute, but in the last few minutes, when Tom Davies hit the post. But overall, I think that Seamus Coleman's a fair shout for right back. He had a very good game against Liverpool. Really kept Sadio Mane quiet. Did everything he could in the game. I think it's only fair. Centre back, Craig Dawson. Yeah, Craig Dawson had a really good game. Again, he didn't keep a clean sheet, Craig Dawson, but I think he had a really good game against Leicester, though. He was unlucky to concede the goal, a brilliant goal from Ben Chilwell. But yeah, overall, though, he scored an overhead kick as well, and not very often in his career will Craig Dawson say he scored an overhead kick in a game. But yeah, overall defensive work, and of course the fact he scored an overhead kick, for me is an obvious choice overall. Other centre-back, Lewis Dunk. Now, of course, Brighton did get a win over Arsenal. Very unfortunate, because I myself am an Arsenal fan, but Brighton overall, though, did defend quite well throughout the game. Lewis Dunk, I think, he scored the goal, and he generally had a good game, Lewis Dunk. Again, he never kept a clean sheet in the match, Lewis Dunk, but the goal he did concede was a very good goal from Nicolas Pepe, so I can't really give anyone else the centre-back role. I think Lewis Dunk played really well. Had a pretty good season as well, Lewis Dunk, but I think he played well. Left-back, Patrick Van Aanholt. Yeah, Patrick Van Aanholt playing left-back for Palace against Bournemouth, put in a solid performance, got an assist as well. I could have maybe gone for Ben Chilwell, but I do think Chilwell was given a pretty tough time from Ismaila Sarr, so I think it'd be difficult for me to actually give it to give anything to Ben Chilwell as left-back of the week. Van Aanholt kept a clean sheet and did well going forward, so Van Aanholt's a good choice. Van Aanholt's certainly a left-back you can rely on going forward. Not always the best defensively, but going forward he's such a threat, Van Aanholt. Of course, scored the winner at Old Trafford earlier on in the season as well, back nearly a year ago actually. That's how long this season's gone on for, of course, due to what's happened. But yeah, Van Aanholt, though, he's a solid left-back, and this was a really good performance from him, I think, at the Vitality Stadium. Holding midfield, I can't pronounce his first name, I think it's Wavez Bissouma. Yeah, Bissouma, as much as I'm an Arsenal fan, and of course Bissouma's certainly not an Arsenal fan's good books at the moment, Bissouma played very well against Arsenal, to be fair. He was everywhere on the pitch, proper put his commitment into the performance. Yeah, he was excellent. I think he's an obvious choice for me, man of the match in the Brighton-Arsenal game. And yeah, unfortunately, as an Arsenal fan, he was very good in the game, and Brighton took all 3 points in the end as well, but his holding midfield role was very important and fair play, because he did play really well. Centre midfield, Phil Foden. Yeah, Phil Foden played last night, and I'd arguably give this performance of the week from Phil Foden. I generally do think this kid's going to be something special. Yeah, Foden, of course, he's competing in a very good Man City midfield, of course, with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva, Bernardo Silva, but David Silva is leaving at the end of the season, which can only really be good news for Phil Foden's career. If he starts getting regular games at Man City, we've really got a player on our hands in the Premier League. Yeah, I watched Foden in the League Cup final against Aston Villa, and I thought Foden was the best player on the park, and last night he completely ran the show against Burnley. Yeah, it's obvious for me Phil Foden's going to be a star in the future wherever he ends up, and this was a very good performance from the young Englishman. Other centre midfielder, Luca Milivojevic. Yeah, Luca Milivojevic, another Crystal Palace player, very reliable. He's kind of a holding slash centre midfielder, Milivojevic, very reliable when it comes to taking penalties. He's also, not bad at free kicks, and this was another example of that here against Bournemouth. Excellent free kick from Lukas Milivojevic, right in the top corner. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but was never going to keep it out, and it went in off the crossbar. He was very good generally, though, Milivojevic. Played well, set the tempo well for Palace. Palace, a very assured performance from them away at Bournemouth, but Milivojevic was excellent, I think. But yeah, I'd say he definitely deserves to be in Team of the Week. Right wing, Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, if it weren't for Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez was also excellent in the game against Burnley. Mahrez looked in the mood, to be honest with you. When Mahrez is in the mood, there are few wingers in the Premier League better, and Mahrez certainly was in the mood at home to Burnley. Played very well. And yeah, again, if it wasn't for Phil Foden being on the pitch, Mahrez would have been the best player. But yeah, overall, I think Mahrez would have been very happy with his performance. If Mahrez is another one, if he can get a consistent run in the Man City team, he's going to be a very good player. We saw how good he can be the year Leicester won the Premier League, and he showed glimpses of it at Man City as well. But yeah, this was a very good performance from Mahrez. Left wing, Alan St Maximin. Yeah, a Newcastle signing I have been very impressed with this season, St Maximin. Scored the opening goal against Sheffield United, which really set the tone. And generally, I think St Maximin was threatening the whole game, to be honest with you. Played quite well. But yeah, I mean, St Maximin, very good player, I think. St Maximin, very threatening all the time, and continues really to impress the Newcastle fans as well. So I think he was a good shout. This was a tough one to put on left wing. I couldn't really decide out of a couple of players, but I think St Maximin just about gets the nod as well. Striker, Danny Ings. Yeah, Danny Ings, one of the great performances of the weekend. It's always difficult to choose a striker, but this weekend, Danny Ings' performance against Norwich was truly brilliant. He scored a goal. He even did a bit of defending in the game as well for a striker. But Danny Ings has had a fantastic season. One of the best, one of the stories of the season. Really, Danny Ings 16 Premier League goals, and bearing in mind Southampton have only scored 36 goals all season, and he's got or 38, 36 or 38. He's got 16 of them. It's quite crazy how many goals he's contributed to. Yeah, nothing but credit for for Danny Ings as well. Great story. Recovered from all these injuries he's had in his career as well. He was excellent against Norwich though, and an obvious choice for striker in my opinion. Very impressed with the way he played. Yeah, so that's my team of the week. I'm now move on to my manager of the week. I'm going to go for Graham Potter. It was probably between Graham Potter and Roy Hodgson, but I mean the only reason I'm not going to give it to Roy Hodgson is Bournemouth were very, very poor against Palace and barely laid a glove on Crystal Palace, to be honest. So as good as performance as what it was for Bournemouth or what it was for Palace away at a side like Bournemouth, I know they're struggling Bournemouth, but still, I'm going to go Graham Potter. Brighton beating Arsenal 2-1. Brighton done the league double over Arsenal amazingly, first time in their history. Graham Potter for me, you've got to give us to as the manager, in my opinion. And the result of the weekend, of course, I'm going to go Brighton 2, Arsenal 1. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt Brighton, great result for them, steers them away. Their first win of 2020. I know Arsenal aren't exactly, say they're not on good form. They're actually unbeaten in 2020 until they played Man City, but this game as well. It's a great result for Brighton. It's been an underwhelming Arsenal team this season, no doubt about that, but it's a good result for Brighton to do the league double over Arsenal as well. And Brighton had to come from a goal behind as well in the last 20 minutes, and they did that. So, yeah, I'd say that's it overall. But yeah, that's my Premier League team of the weekend. I'm going to do a Premier League team of the week at the end of the week, which will be on Friday. And yeah, and then we get into a few FA Cup games at the weekend as well, I believe, and a few more. A few more fixtures. There's so many games of football at the moment, I'm really starting to lose track, but it's so good to see it back though, and this is the first Premier League review I've done, and I've really enjoyed it, to be honest with you, and hopefully the season can continue anyway, and the games do get a little bit better as we go on. I think a lot of the first halves at the weekend were quite dull, but the games will get better and better, of course. Players still working their way back to full fitness and still getting used to football again, so we will see. Right, thank you for watching anyway, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.